We welcome you back inside the Mountain West Network studio for the Mountain West Women's Basketball Media Days. I'm Bridget Howard, joined alongside Jesse Kurtz.
And as always, we do welcome the participation of our gathered media. If you have a question, go ahead and hit the raise your hand button on the lower toolbar and we'll get you in the queue. But without further ado, let's head to Fort Collins and bring in the head coach of the Colorado State Rams, Ryan Williams. Coach, in your 10th season, come on, you haven't been there 10 years yet. Seems like just yesterday we were starting this.
Yeah, time goes, it goes quickly when you're having a good time. And so, yeah, we're excited to start our 10th season here.
Yeah, and you've got some limited time so far with this year's team. What excites you the most about this group?
Well, I like the returners that we have back. You know, we've got some experience back, especially at the point guard spot, and also at the 5 spot. So, you know, we practiced well here the last week and a half. I think our team quickness, the ability to score the ball is, you know, what's probably excites us the most right now. Defensively is the area where we've got to get better. And, you know, we've hung our hat on that end of the court for a lot of years here. So if I'm a little grumpy today, it's because we need to get better defensively.
Well, Coach, you've got just 12 players on your roster this season. What sort of pressures does that put on you and your staff?
Well, I don't know if it puts any pressure. You just maybe have to manage your year a little differently. You know, maybe structure your practices a little differently. Try to keep the kids fresh and healthy. You know, in some ways it's easier to manage a smaller roster. And, you know, we anticipate a lot of kids having some responsibility, and you can do that with a little smaller core. So we like the 12 that we have in uniform. And hey, for years I've played with 10, 12, less than that. So I'm very accustomed to this, and yeah, we're excited with the bunch we have.
Well, your team made great improvements last year. You were 4th in the NCAA for improved field goal percentage. Where do you think you'll make the greatest leaps this season?
Yeah, that's probably still yet to be determined. Again, like I said earlier, we feel very comfortable with what we have at the point. I think we can. We were strong with the interior play last year. I anticipate that being better. But where this team is just a little different from years past here is our athleticism at the wing spot. Our overall team quickness is quite a bit improved. So, you know, hopefully that allows us to do some different things defensively, play a little more faster, so we can hopefully score the ball even a little better than we did last year.
Again, if you do have a question for Coach Ryan Williams, go ahead and press the raise your hand button. We'll get you in queue. Coach, you mentioned wanting to play maybe a fast pace. Having McKenna Hochschild is just the person to run that. She likes to get up and down the floor. She's very good at dishing the basketball and pretty good with that assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah, she had a tremendous year last year. You know, if you can create some space for that young lady, she's going to usually make a really good decision at the end of that. And where we really needed the boost on last year's team, we needed to boost our scoring. And, you know, although McKenna can dish, like you mentioned, she can get to the basket and finish and score. And that's what makes her so unique, is that she's just not a pass first point guard. She can carry the load scoring the basketball as well. And, you know, the speed at which she plays with and the control that she plays with that speed it's quite impressive. And so, you know, she had a really good off season, improving some things that, you know, she felt she needed to get better at. She's shooting the ball at a really good clip right now in practice. And, you know, my job is to keep her fresh and that motor revved up all year long. And she's going to be fun to watch. You know, she's very fun to coach. I know our fans, and I think everybody in the Mountain West is really going to enjoy watching this young lady play.
We certainly are honored by the league last year, newcomer of the year, and then all conference preseason this year. Let's get our first question from the media coach. It's coming from Kelly Lyle of the Fort Collins, Coloradoan. Kelly.
Hey, Ryan, just wanted to ask you how much with this change in defense, are you guys going to be able to maybe trap pressure a little bit more, or are you more worried about just improving the half court defense?
Yeah, I think Kelly, probably more just improvement in the quarter court for us. We will have some luxury as far as maybe to extend our defense. Certain situations, we do have some length that we can, play with and maybe do some different things with the ball screen. But for me, and I think for the development of our team, it needs to be in the quarter court. That's where we've kind of given a lot of attention to here in our early practices. The kids have competed really well, but we've got a lot of newness still on our roster. I think 5 newcomers that takes a while. And so we're starting in the quarter court, but I think eventually we can extend this thing.
If I could, a quick follow-up, just obviously McKenna is a big part of what you guys are doing offensively. Who can fill that role when she needs to take a break or if she twists an ankle or something?
Well, first of all, she's not going to twist an ankle, Kelly. Second of all, we're not giving her a break. So next question. No, that we really like Ana Prim. She's a freshman PG from Spain that is very, very competitive. She has a really high IQ, so we can play her at the point. Bengi Sue Alper was the young lady that backed up McKenna last year and did a really solid job. It's probably not her natural position, but it's somebody that we feel can, if McKenna needs a quick little break, Bengi or Anna, even Michaela Hemingway, we feel comfortable with those kids, running the team.
This is just a reminder that if you have any questions for Coach Williams, please press the raise your hand button to enter the queue. Coach, you mentioned Ana Prim, and her and Clara Gomez both played on the same club team in Spain. How will that help you and your team and them already kind of knowing how they play with one another?
Yeah, you can tell just in our practices that they have a little chemistry between each other, just because they played for the same club program, like you mentioned, Segle. And, we're very impressed with just their skill set. They played a lot of games together, just a lot of games in general. So they're not overwhelmed by what's going on out on the court with the older players on our team. So, but they're freshmen, right? So there's still a lot going on in their brain. And I think by, Christmas time or after Christmas, I think you'll see them on the floor maybe a little more than you do early on. But we're excited about all our newcomers. Jess Moore is another freshman from New Zealand that we're really excited about. And then also the newcomers in Kendall Kinzer and Upe Atasu. So the newness, we really like it. Some is inexperience, some experience, but I think all will have a chance to impact our season.
All right, we will now go to Kelly Lyle from the Fort Collins Coloradoan with another question.
Hey, Ryan, sorry to monopolize your time here. Just wanted to ask you, you've got a transfer from another player in the conference in Kendall Kinzer. You lost a player who transferred to another team in the conference to San Jose State. Is that a good thing, a bad thing when you've got these interconference transfers? It used to be that didn't happen, or there were extra parameters for sitting out that no longer exist.
Yeah, that's a fair question. I don't like it personally. I don't think it's a good thing. The transfer portal in general is kind of a unique thing that there are some positives and there's some things that are some problems. But overall, with the addition of Kendall Kinzer coming from Fresno State and Ellie Benai headed to San Jose, that's just the landscape of women's basketball and college athletics in general right now. And so it is what it is. All I know is we are really, really excited to have Kendall Kinzer in a Ram uniform. She is a really good basketball player. She's a high character young lady. She has experience in our league. And quite frankly, she came from a very good program and had good success. So she knows what it takes to win in our league. So she's been a really good leader in our practices. But although unique, we surely welcome Kendall.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. You mentioned Carly Murphy, and someone who at a different place at Wisconsin Green Bay had some experience playing in the postseason. As you continue to build and get your program back to a place where you won back-to-back Mountain West championship, how valuable is someone like her in playing deep in a college basketball season?
Yeah, it's oh so important. And you mentioned that run that we had older players, and when you have some experience out there on the floor that can manage a very difficult season, can manage the road, certain situations, it just means the world to your team and can bring a confidence to your lineup. And that's exactly what Carly Murphy does. She's played a lot of college basketball games. She too comes from a championship program in Green Bay. She had an outstanding year for us last year. I need to do a better job of keeping her healthy this season. The more minutes she's on the floor, the better off we are. And she's a young lady that plays with a tremendous amount of toughness, a tremendous amount of energy. She can score the ball really well around the rim. She rebounds the ball well. And, it's great to have a young lady that with experience that just brings a toughness and a grit to the lineup. And it's proven that, our young kids are following that. Our practices have been a lot more competitive, and, leading that is Carly Murphy.
Yeah, she fits your persona. There's no question about it when it comes to your basketball team. Final question from us, Coach. We all know last year was tough on college basketball, playing in front of mostly empty arenas, if not completely empty arenas. But Moby Arena is as great of an atmosphere as there is in the Mountain West and in the country when it is packed. And look at a game that you got Louisville team, an Elite Eight team, ranked 6th in the country, coming to your place. How exciting is it to have a program like that come in to test your ladies in what will be an unbelievable atmosphere at Moby?
Yeah, that should be a really fun game. Our kids are looking forward to that. Obviously, Louisville is, they're in a national championship hunt. It seems like most years now, and to have them come to Fort Collins is a really cool thing. Fort Collins really supports its women's basketball, and to bring an opponent like Louisville to Moby Arena should be a really good special Sunday. And our kids are excited to compete in that game. And you're right, Moby Arena and the fans here in Fort Collins, they're special. It's a very intimate arena. It's got great tradition. Women's basketball is a very prideful sport here in our community. So we expect a great crowd, a fun environment when the Cardinals roll into Fort Collins.
Well, we look forward to that, Coach Williams. We always appreciate you, and you've done a heck of a job in your 9 seasons. We look forward to your 10th this year, and appreciate you taking time for us here on Mountain West Media Days.
We appreciate you all.
All right, that's Ryan Williams, the head coach of the Colorado State Rams. We're going to take a short break here while we change things out on campus in Fort Collins. When we're going to come back, we're going to be joined by McKenna Hofschild and Miss Clark. Both going to join us. A couple of starters returning for the Rams, and Coach mentioned it. He preaches toughness, wants toughness out of his team. And there was a time that Coach Williams was in this studio not too long ago, and he preached toughness minutes. And his practices are very, very difficult, but then it translates onto the court where they have back-to-back Mountain West championships over a 4-year stretch.
And it absolutely seems like the person kind of spearheading that in their practices, making sure that they're tough and competitive practices, is Carly Murphy, who we just talked about. And to have a player who has gone deep into NCAA play, who's gone deep into the postseason, that's what you need from it on your team. And that's what head coach Ryan Williams talked about and how important she is for the team.
All right, let's go back to campus at Colorado State and bring in McKenna Hofschild and Carly Murphy, a couple of the very key players who will help Ryan Williams reach those heights that he speaks of and getting back to that championship form that we've seen in Fort Collins.
That's right. So McKenna, we'll start with you. What is your reaction, first off, to being picked to the Mountain West preseason all-conference team?
Oh, it's awesome. I'm very honored. It's a super cool accomplishment, but really I couldn't do it without my team. So credits to them as well.
If you have a question for McKenna or Carly, go ahead and get in queue, raise your hand in your virtual toolbar on your Zoom interface. Carly, what do you see out of this team early in practice that excites you that this team could, by the end of the season, be in the hunt for a Mountain West championship?
I just think that we're super competitive this year and we just show a lot more toughness, I think. So it's just been really fun, like every day, mixing up those teams and just going at it and not knowing who's going to come out on top. Like anyone could have a day. And it's super exciting to see the talent we have offensively and just kind of the improvements on defense that we've had, I think, from last year has been really good to see. So I'm excited for the season because I think we're going to push the ball pretty hard. And yeah, we got a tough conference, but I think we'll be coming ready with some experience to play every game.
Well, Coach sure seems to be excited about that grit and toughness that you guys bring to practice every day. Specifically, you two, you bring so much of that, he said. But now we will go to Kelly Lyle from the Fort Collins, Coloradan. Kelly, you now have the floor.
Yeah, both of you guys have both played at other schools before, been in other programs. What is it that, Coach Ryan Williams was just talking about, that Colorado State fans seem to really appreciate women's basketball? What have you guys seen? Obviously no fans last year, but in your time here, what have you seen that kind of shows that maybe there's some truth to that?
I think for me, the biggest thing is, we didn't get to see the fans really up close in person, but you can still feel how we're all family and everyone really supports each other. And I think that's so special and you don't find that everywhere. So coming to Fort Collins, being here, being a part of this team is really a special place to be.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You just feel like the community behind you. And like going to some of the fall sporting events this year, we've been able to see the fans in the stands and it just gets you so excited for season because it gets packed in Moby and we're really excited to see what that's like. And last year we kind of had to create a lot of our own energy, but even with that, I think we are able to, like, from the outside, hear from the community and see like how they're behind us through that season as well.
Have you seen a big boost you talk about the fall sports and it seems like it's almost like a COVID rebound or whatever after no fans allowed last year. Really good crowds so far this year at Colorado State, especially among the students for volleyball, for football. From what I understand, even soccer and some of the others. How exciting is that as you get ready to launch your season, especially knowing you have a national power, Louisville, coming here at the end of November?
It's super exciting to see that energy for all the sports is really motivating for us. And we want to give the fans like the best we can. And it's just going to be awesome to see Moby packed. It's going to be a great experience.
Yeah, for sure. I think even us, we were just itching to see live sports again. So I think a lot of the students are in the same boat where it's super exciting. They're going to have some good basketball to watch. So hopefully we can keep getting those numbers this winter too.
What about just the opportunity to host a Louisville?
Yeah, that's huge. Like, I remember as a kid, I was in the stands at the Final Four watching them play, and now I have the opportunity to go out there and play them on our home court, which is so exciting. It's a dream. So I think it'll be such a fun game for fans to come out and just get Moby packed and get some energy in there and just do our best and try to get a win that game. But we'll see. Like, Louisville's a tough team, and we're excited to just see what we're like matched up against the best in the country.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kelly. Carly, Coach spoke of the up-tempo offense he'd like to play, but he also mentioned that he really likes the post players. 6 players, at least 6 feet tall, 9 that are 5'10". How can you use that length to your advantage, especially when you take on a team like Louisville and some of the bigger teams in the Mountain West?
I think that's a huge strength that we have on our team, just because there's a lot of people that can play that post position. And we like to use that ball screen a lot, and kind of is really good off the ball screen. So trying to put some pressure there, get some mismatches, and then just working that post game and the flow of our offense is really important for us. I think that we make good decisions out of there. So yeah, we should be able to do really well in the post this year and score at a high percentage.
McKenna, you bring in a number of transfers and new players, and Coach spoke of Kendall Kisner from Fresno State, terrific three-point shooter. One, what have you seen out of her? And then I'm curious, having been in her shoes before, being the new girl on campus with a team and a transfer, how do you help integrate her into, you know, what you're doing in practice, what you're doing off the floor to make sure that she feels and all the transfers feel a part of the team? How much does that put on you having been in her shoes?
Yeah, I definitely know where she comes from and where all the transfers come from. And I think it's important just to make sure they know from the beginning that we're here, we're a family, we're a team, and we have their back on and off the court, just getting them involved with what we do. And then with Kendall, the thing is she's a very good shooter, but she does a lot more for our team. So I'm very excited to have her as part of this team.
You mentioned the new faces, and we've talked about it with head coach too. You guys have so many new faces this year. You've been in practice with them. What can we as fans and expect to see from the new faces on the team this year?
I think you can expect to see a lot of high energy, a lot of great play. They all of our newcomers are really good players, very skilled, very high IQ. So you're going to see some fun plays. You're going to see some high energetic plays, and it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, I've been really impressed by the toughness that they show, and their basketball IQs are really high. Like, things are really starting to click early for all of us, and that is a testament to them for coming in, learning this new system, and just like getting it pretty quick. So it's helped us a lot.
Last question for you ladies, if there are no more questions from the media. What would it mean to you, and I direct this to both of you, to elevate Colorado State back to that championship form? There's a long history of terrific basketball being played in Mobia. To be a part of that and be leaders that gets this program back to that level, what would that mean to you two?
I think it would mean the world to both of us. We know that there's a culture here, there's a championship culture here. So to be able to bring that back here and be a part of that would be so special. And I think we have the team and the pieces to do it. So now it's just putting it together and making the most of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Like, at the end of the day, that's our goal. I think we had an amazing off season together, and it was like just a really special group. So like Kenna said, like, we're going to keep working every day and do what we can to get there. But yeah, it's just a really good opportunity, and we'd love to bring that back to CSU.
Well, we look forward to seeing that. We look forward to it all culminating in Las Vegas. McKenna, Carly, appreciate you taking some time. Good luck getting ready for the season, and then good luck throughout the season here as we march towards Las Vegas.
Thank you.